Hello and welcome to Home vs. House. I'm Lisa, and this is a channel where I share budget-friendly home decor and lifestyle ideas. Guys, since the spring, I have been on this garden series. I am getting ready. So garden season probably has another month or so. By this time, yearly, I have given up on this garden because the temperature is so ridiculously hot and things are dying back. And so usually I just kind of let things die back and just start doing some inside home decor. But I'm gonna hang on this year a little bit longer because my garden is doing its thriving this time of year, even with the heat. And so I'll walk you through what my garden looks like. I'm not really planting anything new for now, but I'm just taking care of what already exists. And so let's start with this first garden bed. So I have 4 heads of cabbage here that's been growing all summer long. They had gotten eaten by bugs quite a bit, and the rabbits earlier on in the season, and I built up the garden beds to protect them from the rabbits, and I added this shade cloth to help with the heat as well as some of the bugs, and so it's been doing better. And then right in the middle I have a sage plant that I've been harvesting quite a bit for my teas and cooking. Over here I recently planted this willow shrub that I had gotten from clearance for $7 at Walmart, and it dried out some, but I'm seeing some new shoots over here. So I've also got another one over here, so that tells me it's growing. It loves lots of water, and so I just have to remember to water it. Over here in this cinder block patch, I have a combination of things growing. I recently planted this pink coneflower plant that I also got on clearance from Walmart some weeks ago. And then in the cinder blocks, I have tomato growing. So my tomatoes, I've harvested them some as well. The worms are getting to them, so I recently started spraying them with some neem oil spray, and I'm also picking them off. The mature ones, I'm picking them off green, and I'm just putting them in a paper bag to ripen. So I have some as we speak on my kitchen counter doing such. Then I have some thyme, oregano, some basil in between. I also have this pepper plant that I've harvested some, and it's flowering again. So I'm pretty excited about that. The tomatoes at least loves the heat, and so they have been thriving in the heat, guys. I just make sure and give it lots of water, and it's been thriving. So I'm happy about that. My parsley, I've harvested this quite a bit, almost every day for my cooking, and I just really love the idea of coming out to my backyard as I'm doing some food prep and just getting to whatever vegetables that I can harvest, herbs that I can harvest. It's just really cool to do that. I'm not, things are not going bad in my refrigerator, like vegetables, and so I'm just using them as I need it. I'm picking them fresh. They're organically grown here in my backyard, and I'm just using what I have, right? So I have not been really buying vegetables. I'm just using up what I have. This second garden bed, I have a combination of lettuce growing here that I have to harvest a little for a salad today. I have some purple cabbage that came back. I had them planted in another area and the rabbits got to them. And then I transplanted them here pretty late. And they're doing really well. They came back. They were down to like the stubs. And they're coming back. I have harvested some of the leaves for salads and things like that. The collard greens, I've harvested that as well quite a bit this summer. And guys, I don't have things in abundance, so what I usually do is just grab a couple of leaves here and there, and I just do a mixed kind of vegetable dish, right? Because I don't have abundance of one particular thing. I also planted some beans along this trellis, and I'm seeing some of them have been trellising already. So I'm excited about that. Over here, my clover ground cover is looking really good. There's some bare spots that I put down some more seeds a few weeks ago, and it too is coming up. I did go ahead and cut back on this Wagelia bush and then just worked on this path, walking path, a little bit more over the last couple of days. And so I think I got it to where I want it to be. My thyme is still doing well. Some more ground cover over here. This is a next area that I need to work on in terms of a path, but slowly by slowly. Yesterday I weeded this path here. I have tried to plant sunflower here, corn here this season, and it seems like every time I put the seeds down in the ground, we get heavy rain, it washes it away, and so I'll try to figure out something for next garden season to plant here. But I did leave back this carrot from last year, and I'm just gonna let it go to seeds. So I may get some carrots here next year. This is the other side of the second garden bed. So some more beans growing. I do have some more lettuce and kale. The kale I have been harvesting as well. Again, a couple leaves here and there, mixed with cabbage leaves here and there. And before you know it, I have what I need for my family meal. I did stick some bean seeds over here and it has sprouted, and actually it's trellising. This cucumber, this is lemon cucumber. I did get to harvest one cucumber so far. Like I shared in the last video, I am going to plant my cucumber in a different spot next year because this spot was just too much of a sunny spot for it, so it didn't do well at all. But I am going to replant tomatoes here because it has done wonders. Here is this tomato plant that is reaching for the stars. In this basket, I had some annuals that I got on clearance. It's pretty much done, I believe, but I did stick some strawberry, like some of the new shoots. I just cut it off of my strawberry plant and I stuck it in here just to see if it'll grow. I'm not sure it'll grow to maturity this garden season, but you know, it's an experiment. I have not harvested any tomatoes off of here yet, but I have been spraying them with neem oil, hopefully to get them to maturity. Over here, this is a project that I recently did, and guys, this cost me zero money. I had these 2 stakes already, and then this chicken wire I did as well. So over here I planted a blackberry bush, and I had my yarrow growing here. It has died back some. I transplanted the lavender because it was thriving for a bit, and then that area became overcrowded. So I stuck it in here. And then I have some blueberry plants growing here. So I added the chicken wire stuff because I was stepping on them as I passed through the garden. And so this just allows them just a barrier to me getting to them. Over in the middle, I have this lilac bush that I've had for a couple of years now, and I trimmed back on it some. This fourth garden bed is probably doing the best, and I've gotten the best harvest out of it so far. So I have cabbage growing here that I transplanted from another area. They're doing well. Here's one of them. The rabbits had gotten to it before, where I had it in another area, and I moved it over here in a protective area, and it's thriving. My kale, I've harvested them quite a bit. I do have broccoli, 2 broccoli plants growing, and guys, I don't know if I'll get any broccoli, but I have been using the leaves. And then my kale down at the other end, I've harvested them quite a bit. And then I have beans growing here, guys. I will show you on the other end. So this, I still have to look up the type of beans. I have not seen them in the store, but I have seen them on other gardening channels. They're super long, and I cannot wait to try them. Again, I have to look up the names of that particular variety. If you know the name of that particular variety, please drop it in the comment section. But this is my first year growing them, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think I got the seeds from a seed fair that we had back in February. So I cannot wait to try them here soon. This is another cucumber plant. I've harvested 1 cucumber off of it. Again, this was just not a good spot for it. This was the first time I've planted them in this area, and this is actually the first time I've gotten the least harvest from them being over here. So now I know what not to do for next year. I do have this pepper, green pepper, that's here as well. I have not harvested from that yet. Along on the outside of my fence, this area is doing really nice. I have my black-eyed Susan that's just really loving the sunshine. And I did, well, maybe about a month and a half ago, my son cut back on the fenced flowers there, and so I don't have much bloom over in that side, but that's okay. They're gonna come back next year. My canna lily, it is doing, this is a really good spot for it. I've gotten blooms out of there, and it just adds a really nice pop of red to this space. I did go ahead and deadhead this geranium basket, and so I'm expecting to get some more blooms again. My what do you call it, my chamomile have not done so great this year, but I've harvested quite a bit of this rosemary plant, so I'm happy about that. Down over here, my azalea that I planted a couple of weeks ago, I see some new shoots, so I'm trusting that this is a good spot for it. Down over here, my marigolds, this was a volunteer plant from last year, and it is blooming very nicely. And guys, over here, some more of the clover ground cover, and that is coming up nice and thick as well, so I'm pleased with that. All right, let's see what else is thriving or not thriving in this garden. Over here, this crepe myrtle, I'm getting some lovely blooms, so this must be a good spot for it. All right, let's go back down in this area. So this trellis, this is a morning glory. So I popped some seeds there some weeks ago, and it is coming up really nicely. It's trellising. I'm hoping to get some blooms, some nice purple blooms before the garden season ends. And then over here, this was a elderberry stem that I picked up from that seed fair that I mentioned earlier. And I had a couple of stems, and this is the only one that actually made it to this point. And so I am going to need to get another elderberry plant sometime next year, so I can get some fruits. All right, guys, so this is the third garden bed that I just showed. I wanted to come on this end because here are the beans, guys. Look how long these beans are. So I am super excited about that I'm going to be harvesting them here pretty soon. And then I just have some cabbage that I had transplanted down here. This collard greens, I've harvested quite a bit actually. So yeah, this is the garden bed that is thriving the most. And the interesting thing is, this is the garden bed that got devoured the most, like completely from the rabbits. So it's good to see that it came back and is thriving. Over here, this is a forsythia stem that I planted last year. Again, as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm not sure this is the great spot for it, but I'm going to keep it here because it does take over an area quite a bit, and so maybe this is kind of helping it contain itself. Down here, I have this other morning glory that I'm gonna need to trellis up here in a little bit. My hydrangea that I transplanted over here, again, I have not gotten any blooms from the hydrangea yet, but I'm trusting that this is a good spot for it, better than the spot that I had before. This strawberry patch here, I have harvested as recent as yesterday actually. So this is the strawberry basket that I've been able to harvest. The other one I haven't, but I have been using leaves from the other one for tea. Over here, this sedum patch, it has thickened out quite a bit, and I just use cuttings from plants that I had in another area to fill up this basket. Guys, look at my thyme, my purple basil that I've harvested quite a bit, and then I've got another basil plant in here. Guys, here is my eggplant, and here are the little flies on it. It's not doing well. It's got some flowers again, but the flowers usually just dry out and drops. So I'm trying to amend the soil to see if that'll matter, but these flies are outrageous. I have been spraying it with neem oil, but I think I just got to that much later than I could have. So I might not be able to do anything this year, but next year I'll do better. Got a bunch of tomatoes over here on that side that I've been spraying. And then I have a marigold in between from earlier in the season where I was doing some companion planting. All right. This area here, so this garden room, I have been building this up quite a bit. My canna lily, again, I love that it is blooming and adding some pops of red to the space. My sedum Autumn Joy is that the variety. It's doing really nicely. This lily, daylily, I planted over here. I'm not sure this is a great spot for it, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave it here for now. Over in this area, it's doing okay. I recently planted this foxgloves and it died back some, but that's okay. Hopefully I will get new seed links next year. And then this, guys, is another project that I'm hoping to do before next garden season. The wood is rotting out, and so I need to take those out, and my plan is to add cinder blocks to create this wall. So that's a project to come that I'm still hoping to get to before next garden season. Over in the seating area, I did go ahead and add these two pillows. I got those on clearance. Together they were like $2.50. So it was half off for each of them. So that's gonna come in handy again next garden season. I won't have to get new ones. So this is what the seating area looks like. These pieces were thrifted items that I picked up some time ago, and I added it here at the beginning of the garden season. I did go ahead and break off some of these hostas that I had in other areas. Over here, maybe about a month or two ago, this side is doing a lot better than this side, but that's okay. I can always break off some more for next year and try again. Over in this area, so I shared that my sedum over here just got stepped on quite a bit. This is the reason why I added this barrier here. I just should have done that earlier, but again, lesson learned. My Shasta daisy that I planted here last year, it came back, it bloomed some, and I see some new blooms about to happen. And then I recently planted this butterfly weed here that I got on clearance. So I'm hoping that it will come back again next year, or at least self-seed. So in this pot, I just stuck some of the Autumn Joy that broke off of here in here, and they're doing well. I did get another canna lily. This one is an orange variety off of clearance as well, and I stuck it in here, and I'm getting some new shoots, and I did get a bloom that was not there when I put it in the ground. So it's doing okay there. This is a nice sunny spot for it. Guys, here is my morning glory that I started from seeds at the beginning of the spring, and it has trellised up here. It has bloomed now every day. I have gotten blooms on it, and it just adds a really nice pop of purple to this space. Guys, this is a new development here. So this yard is on a slope, and down here is the bottom of the slope, and it just gets, when there's heavy rain, which we had a couple of days ago, this is a swamp area. So I have added these pavers just to have a walking path that's not muddy. Over in this fourth garden bed, I had some Chinese cabbage growing here. I started off with 4, and I'm down to 2. 2 made it. I have harvested them quite a bit, and then I have some sprinkles of kale down in here. So I am seeing that this has gotten eaten recently. This is a recent eat. So I need to figure out what is eating those. These kale, they were also comebacks from getting eaten by the rabbit earlier on in the season. Not sure this is a great spot for the kale, guys, because I thought with the shaded area they will do better, but not so much. So I'll do something different next year. Over here, I did go ahead and plant these 2. It's 2 varieties. I forgot the names of the variety of blueberries, but I recently planted it in this pot, and I am seeing some new shoots. So it tells me that it's growing. Some weeks ago, I did cut back on this boxwood, and so I'm seeing some new shoots. I've had these 2 plants here for a number of years. And guys, this is an area that I have been building up recently. So a couple of days ago, I moved some bearded iris from my front. So I have in my front yard, I have them growing as a border to that space. And so I uprooted a few patches to build up this cinder block space. I'm trying to get it similar to the other one over here. That one right here, it looks nice and luscious. I'm trying to get this area to do the same. I recently planted this coneflower orange variety from a pot that I had. So I'm hoping that it will self-seed and be bigger and taller next year. So we'll see. I might next year get some more maybe self-seeding pops of color to add here in the space. But that's my project for the end of this garden season, is to just build up this area. I used to have it build up a little bit more, and I had this pot over here before, and it just drowned out a lot of things that I had planted, included some bearded iris that didn't do so well. So I'm hoping with this smaller pot, that'll work better over here. And then these, so this grass, I'm letting these 2 patch grow back here because I want to use them in my fall, dry them out and use them in my fall decor on the inside. So I'm letting them grow. I'm watching them so that they don't take over the area. And then I did plant some clover seeds down here. I want to do another patch maybe in this area. This was a volunteer okra plant from last year that is coming up. And then alongside this fence, I have a combination of daylilies, some from last year, and then a new variety that I planted, that I got on clearance a few weeks ago. You'll hear me talk about clearance a lot in this video, just because at the end of the garden season, I usually get some perennials that's like at the beginning of the season, it's maybe 30-40 bucks, and at the end of the season I'm picking them up for less than $10. So that's how I add to this garden space, or have been adding to this garden space for the past couple of years now, is I just wait till the end of the garden season, keep my eye on things, and then when the clearance price is right, then I pick it up and add it to the space, and they will either self-seed if they're not perennials, and if they're perennials, they come back. Sometimes they die out, and I know that maybe that wasn't a good spot for it, but at least it's not an expensive lesson learned. And then this is the second garden room, guys. My hostas I'm getting blooms on them. So I don't think I got blooms last year. I haven't gotten blooms on this variety for a number of years, but that's okay. It still adds a pop of green to that space. But this variety here, let me come over to the other side. This variety, I didn't get blooms last year, but the previous years I did. So I'm happy that I've gotten some blooms. I had one in that corner over here and it died out, but I see it trying to come back, so I am happy about that. And then alongside here are some coneflower that's been thriving. They're dying out. When I do cut back on them, I'm going to lay the cuts down alongside this area of the garden, so that in the coming year I'll have coneflower on both sides. Guys, that is the update or the walkthrough on this garden space for the second day of August. I'm very pleased with how my garden is thriving. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this time last year, a lot of things had died back. All my vegetables had pretty much died out, and I was getting ready to prepare the garden just for the fall. I added some mums, some marigolds this time last year, just for again to prepare it for the fall. I don't know how much of that I'm going to be doing this year. Since things are thriving, I may just leave it as is. I'm having some of the pops of color that I wanted in this space, and so I may just be content with that for this year, and maybe add just some fall throw pillows maybe, and just a little bit of like fall ornaments to this entranceway. But in terms of plants, maybe not so much, but that's to come. Thank you again for sticking with me this far to this video. I am going to go ahead and water the spirited iris with this can. This was just rainwater I collected over the past couple of days, and I'm going to use that here to water this. But I am at the end of this video, and so I will see you on the next one. In the meantime though, please stay well. Take care, guys.